fellow oddities, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be going through some of my Mortal Kombat 12 predictions, but with a twist. Basically, in the Mortal Kombat Twitter community, a new trend has been going on, started by Brusquepoet, a pretty popular Mortal Kombat YouTuber, and he made basically this bingo sheet with a bunch of his Mortal Kombat 12 predictions, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to go through every single one of these squares with my predictions on it, and discuss how likely they will be, and try and see if I can get bingo, at least in my personal opinion, because we have no idea if all of these are going to come to fruition within Mortal Kombat 12, or if none of these will come into fruition. We just have to wait for the game to actually come out, but this is just my predictions. So my predictions for my predictions. Now, since this has become a trend, there has been some other people to do it on Twitter, and I will be talking about that in a separate video coming out on Friday, where I basically just go through the community's bingo sheets and see how likely or how unlikely I think certain predictions are, and just giving my thoughts on them. But without further ado, let's get started with my bingo sheet with the first prediction, a support lasting 2.5 to 3 years. Now, this makes sense to me just because Mortal Kombat 11, they said this game is going to be supported for longer, and it only got supported for like 6 more months. And I think that's going to happen again, besides they're just going to add another 6 months. So Mortal Kombat 11 was like 2 years as opposed to the 1.5 years that it normally is. And so I think this one will be 2.5 years. Now, NRS might feel a little sorry for the fans because they did kind of mislead them with Mortal Kombat 11. So they might add another 6 months on top of that and have it be 3 years. But I think that's going to be the maximum for Mortal Kombat 12. I don't think they're going to have like a huge support which lasts like 5, 6, however many years like some of the other fighting games that are coming out now. That's just NRS's way of doing things, and you know, whatever. It means we get more games, and I'm fine with that personally. Next, we have the entire roster getting leaked again. Obviously, this happened with Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11. You'd think that NRS would have improved the security between those two games, but in fact, for Mortal Kombat 11, it was even worse because there was like full in-game screenshots of the characters that hadn't been revealed yet. Whereas for Injustice 2, it was just like a list of the characters' names, and we all thought it was fake until every single character one by one got revealed. And yeah, that was a time, and you know, it's probably gonna happen again. So I'm going to say this is very likely, and I'm gonna mark it as another one of my bingos. Hopefully we can get bingo. That'd be awesome. The next one we have is pretty interesting, a new finisher type. I'm not too sure if this will actually happen because the last one we got was Mortal Kombat X's faction kills, and those were really just and I think they've kind of run out of ideas because they've done really all they can with these finishing moves. So like, what else is there to do other than just bring back something that hasn't been seen in a while, like harakiris or animalities? And I think that should be what the priority is instead of making something completely new. So I'm not going to mark this one, and instead I'm just going to skip to the next. Next, we have the main boss being unplayable in Mortal Kombat 11. Kronika was not playable, and I think they're going to repeat that for the next game, depending on whoever it is that is actually the main boss of the game. It could be Shang Tsung if it's his ending that's canon. It could be Goro if it's Liu Kang's ending that's canon. It could be a new character. It could be Onaga if they finally want to do him. So whoever it is, I don't think they're actually going to be a playable character within the game, which, you know, 50-50 on it. I mean, it's kind of cool to have a character that's super OP and you have to kind of fight them even though they're really cheap, because obviously a very cheap and overpowered character can't really be playable because that messes with the balancing. But at the same time, it would be pretty cool to have another character on the roster that you can play as. But at the end of the day, mods, so doesn't really matter. Next, we have the Sindel retcon being reversed. I don't think this is going to happen just because I don't think Sindel will be in the game. If she is, then I do think it will happen, but I think it's very unlikely that Sindel, just in general, will be a part of Mortal Kombat 12, just because of the whole controversy in the first place. I don't think they're going to want to touch on it just for a game or two, and then when they finally do reintroduce her, they're going to backtrack on everything that they did, and it'll all be fun and dandy and awesome, hopefully, unless they mess it up even more, which would be awful. Next, we have another celebrity voice actor. In Mortal Kombat 11, we had Dimitri Vegas as Sub-Zero, as well as Ronda Rousey as Sonya Blade, to interesting results.
It's like looking in a mirror.
And then, of course, we have the movie skins with all of the 1995 actors. And do I think this is going to happen again? Depends. Like, there's another entry coming up soon that if that happens, then this will probably happen. But if that doesn't happen, then this probably won't happen, because I don't think they're going to get, like, I don't know, another UFC fighter or another random celebrity actor to play another one of these characters. Like, at the very most, like, they'll probably get some high profile actor to play like Johnny Cage or something, but other than that, I don't think it's really going to happen, unless what I'm talking about in like 2 entries from now happens, in which case this will happen. But I'm not too sure if that will happen, so I'm not going to mark this one, at least for now. Next, we have there being no variations. I personally think that NRS has kind of played out the variation system. Like, there's not really too much to it anymore that they can really add upon or build upon. Like, what, they can add more variations, and I don't know, that's pretty much it. Mortal Kombat X had the regular just variation system, 3 different versions of the character, and then Mortal Kombat 11 of course had the custom variations. So I don't really know what they could do for Mortal Kombat 12 to up that, so I think they're just going to have every single character just be the character, just one singular version, and maybe have a different gameplay aspect that switches things up a little bit. But for now, I just think no variations is going to be how it is in Mortal Kombat 12. Next, I have what I was referring to earlier, which is the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie skins. This one would obviously have the actors playing the characters, presumably, which goes back to the celebrity voice actor prediction. But I don't think this is going to happen. Honestly, even though the sequel is probably going to be coming out within this game's support cycle, I just don't think NRS or Ed Boon specifically would really want to put the time or effort into making movie skins for this new universe, just because I don't think they like it that much and they don't really want to support it, which really sucks, because the costumes in that movie and probably the sequel is probably going to have even better costumes, and that sucks because I want to be able to play as those costumes, because some of them are better than the costumes that we actually got in Mortal Kombat 11. And I think this game does definitely have a better shot at getting these movie skins as opposed to Mortal Kombat 11, because the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie had come out just after Mortal Kombat 11's life cycle had kind of stopped, whereas for this next movie, it's probably going to come out within Mortal Kombat 12 support. So, you know, it's more likely, but I still don't think it's going to happen. If anything, they're going to wait like 30 years after Mortal Kombat 2021 to actually add in the skins, like they did with 1995. Next, I have an interesting one, less realistic gore. Now, some people may be like, why wouldn't they just up the gore like they have for all of the previous games? And you guys may not know of a certain controversy that happened around Mortal Kombat 11's release, where apparently NRS was forcing their employees, the ones that were working on the 3D modeling and the stuff for the gore effects, to watch actual gore videos and giving them PTSD just for the game. Yeah, that can't happen again. Like, if it happens again, that's major yikes. So this will definitely happen to some extent. And if it doesn't, NRS is in big trouble. Next up is a Motaro pre-order bonus. I think even though Motaro has had some difficulties being added into these games because of just horse body, I think they are going to take a crack at it with Mortal Kombat 12, whether or not they're successful, and I do think he will be the pre-order bonus of the game. Some people have said, oh, maybe Kintaro will be the pre-order bonus, or Onaga or something, but I think it will be Motaro. I just think he's the most likely, because Kintaro, I don't know, I think that's a bit too similar to Goro from Mortal Kombat X, so I think they're going to go with something completely new, which is Motaro, just a completely different character. Next up, we have a no red blood or gore mode, or just a mode for content creators, because a big problem with Mortal Kombat 11 and a big reason why that game had kind of a weird relationship with YouTube and that whole scene was because it's very gory and there was no options to turn off the gore unless you just wanted to play against Devora the whole time. And so I think for Mortal Kombat 12, they're definitely going to have to do something so that content creators don't have to mirror the screen and turn it black and white every time there's a crushing blow, because that would just suck. Next up, we have a tournament in the story. If this is Liu Kang's ending, then this will definitely happen. If it's Shang Tsung's, then this probably won't happen. If it's a completely new story, then it's 50-50. We have no idea. But I think out of all of them, Liu Kang's ending is the most likely, so I'm going to say there is going to be a tournament story within Mortal Kombat 12 story. Next, we have multiple voice actors being replaced. This always happens with Mortal Kombat games, and it sucks because a lot of people just want consistency with the voice acting, but between Mortal Kombat 9 and X, characters like Kuai Liang and Ermac and all those characters have their voice changed, and then especially between Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, you had Katana and Melina, you had Scorpion, which is the big one that everyone was talking about, you had Liu Kang, you had Kung Lao. Just so many characters had their voices replaced between the two games, and a lot of people didn't like it. I personally didn't have a huge problem with it, but it would be nice to have some consistency and not just be replacing people all the time. Yeah, same thing with the actual face models. Keep those as well. My next prediction is one that I really want to happen, and if it doesn't happen, I will probably hate whatever game this is because I'm so sick of this stuff, and it's no more time travel or multiverse stuff within the story. Maybe for like the first scene or something, there's going to obviously be a continuation of Mortal Kombat 11 story, so they have to touch on it a little bit, but for the most part, I do not want any of this stuff, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think NRS is that stupid to make another time travel or another multiverse story right after we had like the biggest time travel, the biggest multiverse story with Mortal Kombat 11, but you know, I wouldn't put it past them, so I'm kind of scared about this one, but I'm going to say they're not going to do this. Next, I think Test Your Might will return. For whatever reason, Mortal Kombat 11 didn't have any Test Yours, I don't think. It didn't have Test Your Might, not even Test Your Luck, which is weird because, like, the whole thing with Mortal Kombat 11 was that it had, like, weird modifiers on every tower, so that's strange, but it also didn't have Test Your Sight, Test Your Strike, not even, like, Test Your Balance from Mortal Kombat 9 PS Vita, so, you know, it would be nice to have those things return, but at the very least, I just want Test Your Might back, because that was a fun little mini game, and I think they could do a lot. They could have unlocks and cool stuff to be revealed within Test Your Might, whether it's in a tower, or how it used to be in Mortal Kombat 1, which is it's kind of between fights in the tower, which I think would be really cool. Maybe you have an option to turn it on or off, depending on whether you want to mash buttons for like a whole minute, but you know, it would be pretty cool. I think Test Your Might should return. I think it will return to some capacity. I think it will. It's very slight, but I think I'm going to lean towards this will happen. Next, I think there's going to be at least 6 3D era characters. Ed Boon has said recently that they want to include more of these types of characters, which I think he's not lying about. I think they are going to include more of them, and I think 6 is just like kind of the right number. I think I'm good with more, but I'm not good with like any less than 6. I think any less than that, and it's just like, I don't know, it feels like lying to your audience that there's going to be more 3D era characters and there's just like 2 more than usual. No, you have to actually add a lot more, especially since if it's Liu Kang's ending, a lot of the 3D era characters were alive back then, so like there's no reason not to include them and, I don't know, replace them for like new characters for the time, which would suck because like new characters shouldn't be prioritized after characters that already existed. But you know, you guys know what I mean. Mortal Kombat 12, 6 3D era characters, mark my words. Next is unlockable or secret characters. Now, when it comes to unlockable characters, I'm not talking about characters that you unlock through the story like Frost from Mortal Kombat 11 or Quan Chi or Shinnok from Mortal Kombat 9 and X, because that's boring. No, I'm talking about characters that you actually have to unlock, like within the crypt or something like that, like how it used to be in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And also, it would be nice to have some secret characters. But do I think they're actually going to do these things? No, I don't think they're going to have any unlockable characters or any secret characters, which sucks because they kind of add an era of mystery or an era of wanting to complete something, which has been kind of lacking within Mortal Kombat. Like, it's just complete the story and then you just, like, do towers and stuff. And I don't know, I feel like there should be more goals to be set within these Mortal Kombat games. And I think that would be more fun, but you know, they can do whatever they want. They're probably not going to add these types of characters. Next is another disappointing thing, and that's no stage fatalities on launch. I think this will definitely happen because Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 just did not have any on release of the game, and instead they came out months later with a certain DLC. Like for Mortal Kombat X, it was I think Combat Pack 2 or Mortal Kombat XL, and then for Mortal Kombat 11, it was Aftermath with the Deadpool stage specifically. So they kind of just do this thing where stage releases, right, with DLC, and they realize, oh wait, we have to actually like do a stage fatality for the stage because it's an iconic stage from a previous game that had a stage fatality, so we have to do it. So that's what happened with Mortal Kombat X with the pit, and that's what happened with Mortal Kombat 11 with the Deadpool, and then they just kind of added like 2 or 3 more other stage fatalities to the other stages so that it's not just one, which sucks. But I think that's exactly what's going to happen with Mortal Kombat 12. Again, yeah, just disappointing. Next, I don't think they're going to bring back the Mortal Kombat 11 like offensive defensive meter. I think they're going to bring back the Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 9 version of the meter, which honestly would be a welcome change in my opinion, because I think it's just more strategic in a way to be able to, okay, think about it. All right, do I use defensive or do I use offensive meter? Like, if I do one, I can't do the other. So I don't know, it's just a bit more strategic in that way, and I think it is just more simple and better, and people are going to understand it more than just having like 2 separate meters. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even like used the defensive meter all that much. I only ever used the offensive meter within Mortal Kombat 11 because like it's just unnecessarily complicated in my opinion. And so I do think they're going to include the old meter back, which I think would be a good change. Next is probably my most bold prediction, and it's one that I fleshed out a bit more in one of my previous More to Take Mortal Kombat 12 videos, which check out up here. And it's that I think the Crypt and Conquest mode are going to combine into one. So not only do I think Conquest mode is going to come back, but also I think it's going to be merged with the Crypt. And I think Mortal Kombat 11 was kind of a prototype version of that, where basically you have a character that is going on some type of journey and you can explore the different places wherever the setting happens to be. Maybe it's the entirety of Mortal Kombat with all of the realms, and you can explore Outworld and Earthrealm and the Chaos Realm or whatever, and then you can go to those separate locations and unlock gear that pertains to that realm. So if you go to the Nether Realm, then you're going to get gear for Scorpion or Quan Chi or something like that. And so I think it's going to be basically Conquest mode, but you go around unlocking stuff instead of there being more of a story-driven kind of thing with these predetermined events. So I think it's going to be more of like an open world, like the Mortal Kombat 11 Crypt, but it's also going to be Conquest mode in the same way because you're still going to have missions and side quests to do. But do I think this will happen? I'm going to be honest, not really. I don't think that they're going to combine the Crypt and Conquest mode just because, I don't know, it's not something I really see NRS doing. I don't even think they're going to bring back Conquest mode because, I don't know, they just kind of don't like the 3D era very much. And I do think that if they were to bring back Conquest mode, it would be like this, but I just think they're going to do the Crypt how they did it in Mortal Kombat 11, besides maybe a bit more expansive. But that's pretty much it. Next prediction is Combat League. Yes, everyone's favorite online mode is going to return. I just think that NRS is going to have this kind of be a regular thing in their games, which, yeah, the grind and getting to like Elder God status is so fun. But, you know, I think they're going to keep doing it. And, you know, as long as we keep subjecting ourselves to the torture that is Combat League, they're probably going to keep adding it into their games. But, yeah, I think this is definitely going to happen. Or at least some version of Combat League. Maybe they might rename it, but it's going to be something very similar at the very least. Next prediction is one that I am very confident in, and it's that not all of the Mortal Kombat 1 characters are going to be playable. I think characters like Kano, Sonya, Johnny Cage to a lesser extent are not going to be in Mortal Kombat 12. I think they're just not very likely to be actually in the game. I think characters like Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, of course they're going to be in it, but the more Earthrealmy type of characters, even though Liu Kang is from Earthrealm, but I mean more traditional Earthrealmers like Sonya, Jax, Kano, Johnny Cage, those type of characters. I think they have a very, very slim chance of actually being in Mortal Kombat 12 with either storyline, with the Shang Tsung one or with the Liu Kang one, just because I don't think they really fit in either. Next is that I think Premier Skins have a chance at returning in Mortal Kombat 12. There is characters who could make use of it, like Aaron Black changing him into Striker, or Johnny Cage changing him into Mocap, or maybe even Sub-Zero changing into Frost, but that one's a bit less likely just because it's male to female, and I don't know, I just don't think they're going to do that. But you know, just examples. And overall, I'm not too sure this is going to happen just because they didn't do it from Mortal Kombat 11. And I feel like if they didn't do it from Injustice 2 to Mortal Kombat 11, they probably just won't include it in Mortal Kombat 12 since they're skipping Injustice 3. And I think the most likely chance it would have to be in Mortal Kombat 12 is if there was an Injustice 3, which improved upon the idea a lot more, included more types of premiere skins, but they didn't do that because Injustice 3 doesn't exist as far as we know, so I don't think it's going to be included in Mortal Kombat 12. And the last prediction I have is that there's going to be much better animation. I think NRS has been using Unreal Engine 3 since, I think, Mortal Kombat 9, and that's crazy because, like, Mortal Kombat 11, of course, looks beautiful, and they did that with Unreal Engine 3. And finally, I think they are switching to Unreal Engine 4. Would it be nice if they switched to Unreal Engine 5? Yes, but I don't know. It just seems like NRS is a bit behind. But they are using Unreal Engine 4, which is an upgrade, so there is probably going to be much better and much smoother animation compared to how it was in the previous games, which wasn't great. But I do think they're going to improve upon it, also with the extended time they have to work on this game, and also with just the feedback from the community. I do think they're going to improve the animation, make it look much better, and try and make people happy, which is what they should do. And that's it. That's all my predictions for this bingo sheet. Let's see if I got bingo. Let's see here. Okay. All right, that's one. All right, we have this second column right here. Entire roster gets leaked, no variations, tournament in the story, at least 6 3D era characters, and Combat League returns. That is a bingo, I think. I think I know what I'm doing. I've never played bingo, so I don't know if this is all correct. Oh, I think we've got another one here. No red blood or gore mode. Tournament in the story. I think this is a free space, so it counts, right? I think that's how it works. Multiple voice actors replaced, and no more time travel / multiverse. That's another bingo, and another one. Game supported for 2.5 to 3 years. No variations. Free space. No stage fatalities on launch. Much better animation. All right, so that's a diagonal one. And I think that's it. I think. If I know how to play bingo, which pretty sure I do. But yeah, that's about it for this video, you guys. Make sure to comment down below your predictions for Mortal Kombat 12. That would be fun. Also, look out, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for the next video in this kind of two-parter where in the next video coming out on Friday, I'm going to be discussing some of the community's bingo sheets and seeing whether I agree with their predictions or not. Also, make sure to give this video a like. That would be nice. And that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.